worries. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. Before we get started, I'd like to ask the viewers to be sure if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. That way we keep gonna bring you more and more content. And without further ado, I want to get the introductions going on. We got my sister Didi here in the building. Didi,
hey, everybody.
Hey.
Nice. And then last but not least, our special guest in the video today is none other than the multi-hat wearing business extraordinaire, the fabulous Mrs. Khadijah, aka Alterego Phillips, is in the building, y'all. Thank you.
Hey,
how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, the one thing I wanted to ask before we get started, mention to the viewers is that we met over a decade ago, kind of by fate.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this story. When we met in the park at a cookout,
mm-hmm.
we were introduced, and I was just talking about wanting to buy a house, and then you gave me a whole rundown and the scoop and what I needed to know, and then I went on that process, and then about a month or two later, I found my house, closed on that house. I don't know if I came on my porch and found out you was like right 2 doors down from me.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Oh my God, that was fate. Yes.
Yep.
That's
and
crazy.
We went to the same high school and didn't even know.
Exactly. Fate. See
yep.
Yep. Awesome. So, like, to start out, can you just give us your life story, like where you was born, your education, career paths up until like where you are today?
Yep. So I'm from Philly, born and raised here. Went to Parkway, Gamma, 49th and Chestnut. And I went to a couple different colleges. I started out at Penn State, Delaware County. I was commuting. My mom didn't want me to stay on campus. And while I was there, I got pregnant with my son. So I got really, really, really sick. So I couldn't finish. So I just dropped out at that point. My major was engineering. That was the path that I was on, architectural engineering. And I mean, it all turned out to be a blessing. And you know, at the time, I didn't really see it that way, but it did. And then I went to Drexel for a little bit to try to finish up my engineering career. But it just didn't work. You know, I had another baby. A couple years later, I bought the house. You know, so I had more responsibilities. That house that we met on Marlin Road, that was my second house. So I bought my first house when I was 19. I got my second house. I think I might have been like 22, 23, something like that. Yeah, so I mean, that's basically my life story. I grew up with 2-parent household, you know, with issues with that, like most of us had growing up. But yeah, I mean, that's basically the overall, the high level overview. You know, there's a lot of ups and downs and lows and highs in that story too, but that's pretty much the gist of the story.
Nice. Like I said, you got several businesses. Like, which ones are you currently doing, and which ones have you been in the longest?
Well, I do hair. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. But I just specialize in locks. That's the main business. I kind of took a break from that when COVID hit. And I was kind of trying to get away from that a little bit anyway, because I wanted to pursue other things. Because, you know, like when we talked in the park that day, that's kind of what I do. Like, I just help people with whether it's a business, just whatever it is with life. And I just wanted to find a way to be able to help more people. And then, you know, I was in an abusive marriage and I kind of felt stuck. Like, I didn't really have the support, not that the people around me weren't supportive, but if you know anything about abusive relationships, you don't always want to tell anybody for various different reasons, you know, embarrassment, or you may not feel like, you know, they'll believe you, or you may be fearful of what would happen to somebody else if they intervened or whatever. Because the system isn't really set up for domestic abuse of survivors, or while they're in the midst of the situation, there's not really too much support that you get until after you're already dead, basically. So, you know, I didn't really want to say anything. So I didn't really have the support or the help. And he was the breadwinner. So I couldn't really do anything. So Besties in Business is a nonprofit. It kind of sparked out of that need to want to help other people, not necessarily, women that were in domestic abuse situations, but just women who needed help. Like there's so many people working alone. You see 3 and 4 barbershops on one corner, 3 and 4 hair salons. And I just feel like if we started working together, because you can't do everybody's nails, you can't do everybody's hair. There's no need to compete. If we collaborated more, we would be able to get help. And I felt like during my situation, if I had a network of people, I would have felt a little bit more comfortable reaching out, or maybe I could have got out of the situation sooner because I would have had support. Right. So Besties in Business, that's the project that I've been working on. I left my job to do it full time. And basically that's what we do. We promote group economics. We promote, group work, networking to grow each other's businesses, so that we can in turn build up our community, and that you're not out here working alone because you don't have to. And then, other little things here and there, that I do just to make ends meet. I do web design, I do business consultations. We have merch that we sell. So we have the t-shirts and the fanny packs and all those things too.
So somebody wanted to get into Besties in Business or branch out into, or get involved with Besties in Business, how would they go about it?
So go to bestiesbusiness.org. We have a networking group. It's an official group. You pay $29 a month, and that gets you access to our networking events. You would get half off of the tickets. You would get half off of the vending. We promote your business. And then we have other services that we offer. So if you're already an established business, or if you're starting off, and let's say you need a website, or you just don't know which direction to go, or you're out of ideas, and you need help, or maybe you want to start a podcast, there are membership plans and the services that you can, purchase. Then I'll help you. I'll help you start your podcast. I'll get it on iHeartRadio. I'll get it on iTunes. Like I'll do all of that, walk you through it, and help you through it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Good information.
That leads me to my next question. When you take off all them hats, toss them back seat and put another one on, how do you manage everything or stay on any type of schedule as far as being a mom and businesswoman and being like a wife? How do you do it?
Well, I mean, honestly, I coach my clients and I tell them to, get on a schedule and be organized, but honestly, I don't do that. I find the time, I find time in my day to do it. So like now I knew that I had to do this, so I'm sitting in the car. You know what I mean? And I ate, gave them some food. I'm gonna come do this. I have something at 8, so I'm gonna, stay in the car till 8, do that, go in. So it's really I just have to stay busy. So I don't know if that's a sign of mania or something. I got some type of mental illness or whatever it is. I think it's, honestly, I think it's a trauma response, just from a lot of that I've been through in my life, because I gave you like just a piece of what I've been through. I've had some sexual trauma, I've had, I'm going through issues with the kids. So I just feel like sometimes if I'm not doing something, I don't know what to do. I can't just sit still. So I have to be doing something. So I really jumped from working, kids, working. Right. I haven't even been able to play my game, my Sims game. I love that. I haven't even been able to do that. So I just can't ever sit completely still. So I have to be doing something. So, just reading up on that. That's what I was saying. Maybe it's like a trauma response, like when you feel like you always have to do something, because you really don't. You really don't. It's okay to relax and take time for yourself. Like I have like a whole book that I'm writing on that, and I don't even do it. You know what I mean? But it's okay. I know it's okay, but can I do it? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Just gotta be on that hustle. Like I'm not sitting around, feel like I'm not productive. I should be doing something that's going to have results and make my kids proud of me. And then I do it and I'm like, I don't know if it's going anywhere. Then I give up. So that's been my story, like for the last decade. And I'm like, I hate that about it. I'm like, it's just so much. And I'm like, I need to just relax. I'm getting too overwhelmed. I'm getting to this. I'm like, it's just a circle.
We gotta take it one step at a time. One thing I will say, and I got this from Will Smith. He said, if me and you get on a treadmill together, either two things is going to happen. Either I'm going to die or you're going to get off first. Basically, like, you will not outwork me. So like, I'm never quitting and you're never going to outwork me, period. So all that I give up is not working. It's been 5 years. I don't want to hear that. Like, don't ever say that again to me, CC, seriously, because it takes people 10 years to become an overnight success. Okay. Tyler Perry put those plays on and nobody came for years and he kept doing it and then it just blew up. So you never know when it's going to be your time. Like, if God put something on your heart to do it, you gotta keep doing it. It's going to blow.
Amen. That's some true words right there. Right.
You
kind of touched on my next part we'll just talk about was about any type of mental things, like mental illness and things like that, like stress, depression, anxiety. If you're having those, how do you, if you do have had or currently have any of those situations, how do you manage, still run your business and being a mom? But I think you kind of touched that, of course. But anything specific?
Well, I have probably, like, when I finally left my first marriage, I got really sick. So I got Graves' disease, which is like a disease of your thyroid, and it kind of, your thyroid basically runs your whole body. Nobody else in my family had it, so I think it was just because I was under extreme stress, and that comes with something called Graves' rage. So you get like really angry really fast. Like, I've never been like a 0 to 100 type of person. You know, people back in the day would be like, yeah, I blacked out. Well, I've never been that person. I've always, I process things, so now I have a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, and just thinking about things, and just, I'm always in like, protect mode. I don't like having tension in my house and things like that. So what I do is, this is the honest to God truth. I listen to podcasts, YouTube videos all the time. I'm talking about, like, I'm obsessed with them, and I'm obsessed with listening to success stories because I feel like they motivate me. Nice. So like, when I was pregnant with the twins, I was the only person working at that time. I got remarried, so he wasn't working. I'm carrying these twins. We didn't have a car. I'm walking from the trolley. Like, it was a lot going on. And to keep me motivated was, okay, I'm sitting here complaining. At least I have heat in my house. I have food when I get there. And I'm listening to these stories of people who were sleeping in their car for 3 years. Wow. They're sleeping in their car for 3 years just because they wanted to be successful so bad. I'm listening to stories about people who were molested and raped from the time they were 8 to they were 15, and they had, they were pregnant by their uncle's baby, like all these crazy stories. And at the end of the story is, hey, I made it. I was able to help. I was able to give back. I did this. So it's like, okay, you're complaining and you're upset and you're stressed. Why not? So the only way to keep my mind focused and to keep the negative thoughts at bay is to focus only on positive thoughts. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, really laser focus on positive stories, positive thoughts, really tuning out all negativity as much as I can. So that's really how I manage it. And then talking to people who I know can understand. So like, if I have a cousin, like, she's dealing with a mental illness, so she can understand like the mood swings and the, you know what I mean? So a lot of people don't understand. So
yeah, that's good that you're there for your cousin. Like, a lot of people don't understand it. They're not educated about different type of mental illnesses and can't be there for others. That's a blessing. You're there for her. What advice would you give to like a young individual wanting to start a business, starting fresh, but lack the confidence or is afraid? Like, what advice would you give someone?
Well, I would say that you need to definitely find your voice, find the courage within you, and know your why. So if you know why you're starting something, it's harder to give up on it. So if you're only doing it because you're trying to make money, then it's kind of easy to just say it's not working. But if there's a true purpose behind it, like if you're saying to yourself, okay, I know I'm young, I'm only 19, 20, but I don't want to work for anybody. I want to do this myself because I don't want to ever have a boss. Like, it doesn't even have to be anything deep. Like, I want to get my mom like out the projects. It don't even have to be that deep. It could be, I just don't want to have a boss. So if you're doing that for that reason, when it gets hard, you have to tell yourself, I don't want to work for anybody. I don't want somebody micromanaging me. And you continue to remember your why, you keep it in front of you, and then you just go after it. So it takes some time to research what it is that you want to do. Right. I'm big on innovation, and doing something different. So I would say, if you're not trying to jump into an arena where everybody is, it'll be easier for you and you'll be less inclined to give up. So, keep your why in front of you and try to go into an industry that everybody's not in, or niche down. Meaning, if you want to do lashes, for example, a lot of people are doing lashes. So you could do lashes. I would say maybe only service seniors. I only do lashes for women that are, 50 and up.
Oh, okay, interesting.
That way, you're not trying to get every lash customer, and you will, when you are specialized in one particular area, more people will be able to find you, because those women are going to look for a certain type of service, a certain type of atmosphere, and you're not trying to cater to, 50 million different women. You don't have to worry about the long lashes because they don't want that. So again, I would just say, keep your why in front of you, do some research, try to go into an industry where it's less crowded, so that you won't have as many challenges, and just know that it takes time, and just keep look at the other people who've done it before you. Look at all those success stories and see what they've done. A lot of times people see the end result and they don't realize the path. What's her name? Super Scent, the crayon case. Yeah. Like, everybody sees her, she's making $1 million in 2 hours, but like, she was telling story time, she was a waitress, she was selling t-shirts, she was doing a whole bunch of stuff for a long time.
Wow.
So she didn't just come online and say, hey, crayon case makeup, and people buy it. Like, she was out there building her name, building her brand. So sometimes it takes 10 years to be an overnight success. So
yeah, I believe it. That's definitely true. So I don't want to hold you too much longer. Just want to close out with this last question. Ask, what are you most proud of as far as your career paths and decisions?
My career path? I would say, well, as far as career, I would say just Besties in Business, even though it's not generating the income that I would like to see from it. I make most of my income from doing hair. But when I get messages like, oh my God, you helped me so much, I'm about to cry, like, I gotta sell, or, I finally went and got my LLC, or like, you've motivated me so much, I was gonna quit. Like, those are the things that just make me proud, makes me feel good, like, okay. I just remember those days sitting back like, I wish I had my own salon. I wish I could do X, Y, and Z, but the situation that I was in, I couldn't do it. I was stuck in a situation and I didn't have anybody to help me. I didn't even have anybody to tell me which way to go if I even wanted to. So just things like that, knowing that I can help people and help them make a way for themselves, like, it's really rewarding in that way.
Nice. And where do you think you're in, like, the next 5 years, where your ventures will probably take you in the next 5 years?
Well, I'm hoping that Besties will become like a national brand that will have chapters, nationally, that we can set up in different cities and just help people to create different pockets of women and men, because it's not just exclusive to women that want to work together, that don't want to work alone, that want to, I buy from you, you buy from me, and we share each other's business. So, I mean, ideally, I'm just trying to find the people that aren't selfish and that understand the benefit of working together. So hopefully I'll get that as a nationally recognized brand, and that my lock business, that could be something that I don't necessarily have to be in daily, and that, I could just have it, I could just run the business and not necessarily be in it.
Got you.
Cool, cool. Well, that was all very inspiring, even for myself. I know this will help a lot of people watching this for sure.
I hope so.
Definitely like that quote that you said from Will Smith. That's like legendary.
Yeah, I listen to that stuff like repeatedly though. Like I've heard it probably 100 times, and now still will turn it on right now. And they're looking at me like, really? Like, yeah, I need to hear it again. I need to hear him say it again. He's like my personal, like in my head mentor. So it's like he's talking to me like, oh, okay. And then I just like, you know what? Just you got this.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Okay.
We're gonna wrap this up now on that note, on that great note there. Well, thank you both for being present tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, stay safe, everyone, and make sure to stay loose.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thank you.
What's happening, people? I hope you enjoyed that video you just viewed. If you did, make sure you go over and hit that like button, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.